Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 3 Career Mode. Today we go to Iowa in both the Truck Series and Xfinity, and we go to Sonoma for some road racing in the Cup Series. And in the Truck Series we had subscriber Ross Wesson in the truck for this episode. He started in the 15th position. Iowa is a track that our team usually struggles at in this career mode, so we weren't really expecting a top 10, but we're starting to get at least some more speed in this truck, so hopefully we can have some good runs here going towards the playoffs this season. But Wesson would kind of hover around the same position as he was still sitting P16. He came to the final lap now, still running in the 16th position as he went down into turns 3 and turns 4 for the final time, though. He would get overtaken on the exit of the corner, though, by Grant Enfinger, and he would come through to finish in P17. So now as we come through to the Xfinity Series race, we had Stuart Friesen in the car for the first time in our career mode. Obviously, he won Eldora in the Truck Series. He's Canadian, so it was like, hey, we put in a fellow Canadian in the car for this race here in Iowa now, as he was starting down in about 20th or so, but he would work his way forwards, and by the time he came to the final lap, he got up to P12, making a move under Cole Custer, trying to take P11 away as he came through turns 3 and turns 4, pushing up way wide, but he makes the move work. But now as he comes through across the line, it would be P11 for Stuart Friesen. So one of the best finishes we've ever had with our team at Iowa, so maybe we have to give Stuart Friesen a few more opportunities. But now he's come straight through to qualifying at Sonoma and Cup Series. You see how bad I go into the final corner, overshot it terribly, and almost went head first into the barrier. So it wasn't going to be the best lap, but it wasn't actually as bad as I expected. We would come through to cross the line to still go P17 here with a 113.121. So hopefully we can move forwards here and win Sonoma for the second season in a row. So let's go for some road course racing here in Sonoma.
The Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series hits the road today, literally, for the running of the Toyota Save Mart 350. Sonoma Raceway is the first of 3 road course events on this year's schedule. This twisting 12-turn, 1.99-mile drive through the heart of wine country is a true test of racing skill. There's over 160 feet of elevation change here, something that isn't obvious when watching on TV. Now, some turns are completely blind, like turns 3 and 3A, and you're almost always on the wheel here, which requires a different mindset after all the oval races. The pace car is coming down pit road. We're ready to go racing on PRN.
All right, we're ready to go green here for the Toyota Save Mart 350 at Sonoma. Landon Castle didn't have a good practice session, so the team knows they can do better. They could probably get in the top 35 now as Martin Truex Jr. starts on the front row. Kyle Larson, engine change after qualifying, so he is starting at the back of the field here as we get ready for our first road course race of the season. Some of my favorite racing here. As you guys know, I love some road course racing. Now as we get ready to go green here at Sonoma Raceway. Now the green flag is out, and we are underway at Sonoma Raceway. Martin Truex Jr., our rival, leads the way. We know we have enough speed to get up front in this race, so Truex certainly going to be an issue probably later on for us. Now as we come up through the first few corners, pretty slow as we actually got into the back of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. there as it came through the corner, so a bit of a mistake on my part. I just drilled him right in the back and damaged the front end a little bit, but we were okay. There was just really cosmetic damage. It wasn't any performance impacting. Now as we come out of the next corner, trying to make it 3 wide here potentially with Kurt Busch and Stenhouse, and we're going to do just that now as we go into the corner and we move up to P15, getting into the back there of Denny Hamlin as they came out of the corner. So we gained 2 spots here at the beginning. Now as we get in behind Kyle Busch, making more contact, just pretty much just trying to destroy my front end at this right now as we make a big move on the outside of these guys. Big checkup, Suarez, Logano, McMurray all falling behind, and all of a sudden we find ourselves up here in the top 10. An aggressive first half of a lap, but it pays off as we gain, I think, 7 positions to go up into the 10th spot. Now Suarez and McMurray battle side by side behind us as we go through the bend, getting up on the curb way too much there. Thankfully we don't spin the car out now as we head down towards the final hairpin here on this course, going in a little bit deep just like I did into qualifying now as McMurray tries to fight back on the outside, but thankfully we have the momentum to just get away from him and now hold on to that 10th position. And we would end up running down Chris Buescher as well now as it came to the second lap, towards the end of the second lap, about to make a move on him down towards the hairpin. Gonna look over to the right-hand side. We look up his inside now, trying to take P9 away, but the stage is going to end early as the caution comes out. As you guys know, stage 1 and 2 at Sonoma are very short. They're only like 5 laps, so any caution pretty much ends the stage, and then the final stage is a pretty long stretch. So we already get ready to start stage 2 now here in Sonoma as the green flag is out, and it was Martin Truex Jr. who won stage 1, I think it was. So he picks up a playoff point now as we get an extra lap added on to stage 2 due to stage 1 ending early. So it's a 6-lap stage here in the second stage. A little bit of oversteer onto the entrance of the corner. Certainly got to figure out what I'm doing in the final hairpin on this course. Qualifying, I screwed it up. Lap 1, I screwed it up. And I was kind of struggling this whole weekend with the hairpin. I just don't know what was quite wrong, but hopefully we can figure out throughout the rest of this race now, as we're going to make it 3 wide there with Eric Jones and Michael McDowell, who's having a great run. We go a little bit wide on the exit of the corner, but no track limits here at Sonoma for NASCAR at least. Now as we're going to go up the right-hand side to make it 3 wide now with Boyer and our teammate of Elliott there as we make some contact with Boyer. He gets a little bit sideways, but we keep it straight now as we head down towards the S's up into P6 now behind Boyer as we go down towards the little right bend, closing right up on him, looking to his right-hand side nearly, but not quite able to make the move work. Showing a lot of speed and potential in this car at the moment, so I was very confident in what we had for later in this race. Usually though, the long stretches are kind of my weak point at this track now as we exit the corner there here now on lap 3 in the second stage. A chance to pass Boyer, and sure enough we're going to look up the right hand side and make the move for P5, and now we're going to set eyes on his teammate of Kevin Harvick as we go down towards the S's. We got our other teammate here of Alex Bowman running up in the 3rd position, so a great run for Bowman. Obviously he won in Bristol earlier this season after we had a chance to win that race and screwed up now as we came through though, hitting 2 to go in the second stage. A big run on the back of Kevin Harvick as we head down towards the first few corners. We're going to try and send it up the outside now of Harvick, and now we get to his inside as we come through the right bend at the first turn, and now we come out of the corner ahead of Kevin Harvick for the 4th position. So quickly moving throughout this field now, and we're setting ourselves up very well for this 3rd and final stage. So now we cut straight through to the final lap here, the last half of the final lap in the second stage. Still running P4. We had driven away from Kevin Harvick. We had started reeling in Alex Bowman and Ryan Blaney, but Truex, he had at this point driven away with the stage victory, and obviously I wasn't going to run down Bowman or Blaney within these final few laps. So at this point, just managing the car for these final few corners, make sure we don't make a silly mistake, and we can hold on to a P4 finish in this second stage, which is a great result considering we still started down in the 17th position as we come through the final hairpin on the exit of the corner. Martin Truex Jr. comes through to pick up another playoff point with the stage victory, and we're going to get P4 behind our teammate of Alex Bowman in the 3rd position. So a great result here in the second stage, setting us up well, like I said, before this 3rd and final stage. I think we have a true contending car to battle for this victory here if we play our cards right. We would come to pit road, no tires necessary for this pit stop. It would just be 2 cans of fuel, but we would also make some repairs to the car, make sure we have just a perfect car for this final stage. Unfortunately, we lose 3 positions and drop to P7, so we're going to have to be a little bit aggressive here on this start here in stage 3 to make sure the leaders don't get away now as we're ready to go green, and the 3rd stage is underway here in Sonoma beside the 41 car of Daniel Suarez. Now as we go down through the first bend down towards turns 1 behind Harvick and Elliott, maybe we might want to think about making it 3 wide here as we're going to try and look to the left hand side and do just that here with Harvick and Elliott getting sideways. They're making contact on the left rear of Harvick now as we come through side by side up the S's now side by side with him and Suarez backs out of the 3 wide, and now it's just myself and Harvick. We make contact and he gets sideways, but we both hang on to the car as we go down towards turns 4 behind Chase Elliott now as we exit the corner, going a little bit wide again, setting up a big run as we look to the right hand side, a little bit of a crossover, and now we make the move to the inside of Elliott and get past him and briefly just get in the right rear of our teammate of Bowman. So back up in the top 5 on this opening lap of this 3rd and final stage. Now Ryan Blaney actually was able to steal the lead away from Martin Truex Jr. on the opening start, so he is going to be hard to catch, but he also might hold up Truex because Truex is certainly the fastest car on the track, so this could play into our favor for sure now as we head down the straightaway down towards the hairpin behind our teammate of Bowman. We're going to lick the stamp and send it just like Daniel Ricciardo, and we make the move stick. There's make some contact though with our teammate of Bowman, but we make the move work. A little bit aggressive, not as clean as Daniel Ricciardo probably would have made it work now. We take over P4. Certainly wasn't a fan of just getting into the side of our teammate, but we make it work now as we head down towards turns 1. We're going to look at the right hand side now of Clint Boyer into turns 1 and turns 2, and now we're going to take over the 3rd position as we exit the corner. Marching our way through the field now as we came through at the next lap, 17 to go, just 12 laps remain here in Sonoma. Blaney holding up Truex a little bit. I think Truex truly is faster, but he just couldn't find a way to get right up to Blaney and pass him. So this was bringing me right into the picture now behind them as we had driven away from 4th, and as we came through now on lap 19, continuing to close up on the back of these guys, right on the back bumper of Truex at this point, putting the pressure on them, maybe with a chance to take over P2. But I was being pretty careful because we know Truex Truex is a rival, so I don't want to try and make a move and then get wrecked by him. So I was just taking my time, waiting for the right opportunity now as we came through the right-hander, just sitting right behind Truex, hoping that we get an opportunity. Right there could have been a chance. I tried to make a move actually on the left-hand side, but unfortunately it doesn't work out, so we have to fade in behind him now as we came through out of the corner now as we came through on lap 20, approaching lap 21, still right behind Truex, just like I said, waiting to make my move. Blaney continuing to hold on to the lead now as he came through on lap 21, up the hill, down towards turns 1. Still putting pressure on Truex now as he gets very sideways through turns 1. We hit him in the right rear, and spinning goes the 19 of Martin Truex Jr., our rival. And that's going to bring out a caution late here in Sonoma with 8 laps to go. We would not need to pit, so we would restart P2, and I know this might sound hard to believe, but I did not mean to spin out Martin Truex Jr. there. Obviously, he being my rival, or him being my rival, might look a little odd that I turned him like that. It was not intentional. I was off the throttle, and he was sideways. I still hit him in the right rear. Maybe if I would have stopped the car, I would have avoided hitting him, but now we come through turns 1 and turns 2, though, side by side here with Ryan Blaney, a chance to actually take the lead now here in Sonoma with less than 10 laps to go at this point as we come up through the hill now, still side by side with Blaney. He is not going to give up this battle, but we come through on the exit of the corner just about ahead, but not quite able to take over the position here with 5 laps to go. But as we go down into the right-hander turn 4, we do get the edge on Blaney. He's still side by side trying to fight back now as we head down towards the corner. Behind us is our teammate of Bowman, but this time through we clear Ryan Blaney for the lead position. Out front now here in Sonoma, and we would be able to drive away at the beginning of this run here from Ryan Blaney, but he would actually start to find some speed as my tires were starting to fall off, so he was starting to reel me back in as we came through with just 3 to go at this point, trying to hold him off, and now coming towards 2 to go. Blaney within half a second now, 4 car lengths or so, maybe 3 to 4 car lengths behind, continuing to keep the pressure on me now as we come through the S's. Not going to be an easy win here in Sonoma as we came through with 2 laps to go at this point, approaching the final lap, this time by Blaney and Elliott 2nd and 3rd right behind me as they try to put the pressure on now as we go down through the left-hander down into the right bend, approaching the final hairpin here as we make a little bit of a mistake, and that allows Blaney to be within about a car length and a half or 2 now as we go down to the final hairpin, being defensive, and Elliott looks up the left-hand side now as we go wide in the hairpin, just like we did earlier in this race, but thankfully we don't screw it up bad enough to where we can still keep the lead now as we clear Blaney down the straightaway. It's going to come down to this final lap now as the white flag is in the air here in Sonoma now as we go down towards turns 1. Blaney, Elliott, and Bowman now 2nd, 3rd, 4th behind me as we come through turns 1 and turns 2. We have 2 wins at this racetrack, trying to make it 3. We won here last season, and we won in the 41 car a couple seasons back now, as we try to get our 2nd win of this season here with the 48 car now as we go down towards turns 4, putting a little bit of a gap between myself and Blaney now, but we make him a little bit of a mistake having some oversteer, and then I correct it and we go off track, and that brings Blaney and Elliott right back into the picture now as we go down towards this final portion of this track, going wide again. Blaney looks to my right hand side now as we head down towards the S's. We go a little bit defensive, getting just in front of him now as we come through the left-hander. Chase Elliott makes a move up his inside now, and Elliott moves through to take over P2. He has found something here as we come towards these final corners here in Sonoma now through 2 to the right bend. Elliott with a power move on the outside, and we're going to go side by side now down the final straightaway towards the hairpin, trying to play defense into this final corner, but we go wide, and Elliott's going to try the crossover now as we exit the final corner side by side with our teammate of Elliott now as we come through the left-hander. We're going to come out of it now clear of Elliott, and we will win in Sonoma.
Nice job, driver. You're the boss.
An intense final lap and a half or so here in Sonoma. Thankfully, we come out on top for win number 2 on the season. What a weird season this has been so far. We've had some really bad finishes. We got a win at Talladega, unexpected. We've had, I think, 3 second-place finishes, and then obviously a win today. So we've had, I think, 5 top 2 finishes this season, and then we've had, I think, like 5 finishes outside like the top 15, top 20. So it's been a weird season so far, to say the least, but we pick up an extra 5 playoff points. Hopefully we can make a championship run here in our final NASCAR Heat 3 season. So a good way to finish our Sonoma career in NASCAR Heat 3 with a victory. 3 wins at Sonoma now. So road course racing, obviously, like I said in the beginning of this video, I just love road course racing. It certainly plays in a factor to myself. We know every time we go to a road course, we're going to have a shot to win at now, as we have 10 playoff points on the season. Hopefully we can pick up some more, because if we go into the playoffs with 10 playoff points, we're going to pretty much have to win within the last 2 rounds if we want to get to the Final Four. So hopefully we can continue this momentum. We're building up some momentum again. Now, as Clint Boyer not happy at all with us, he's actually a rival, which completely caught me off guard, but we would apologize to him because we don't want Clint Boyer as a rival. We know he will keep his helmet on and come swinging, so we don't want to mess with him. But as always, if you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Those would all be very appreciated. Surprisingly, Martin Truex Jr. has nothing to say, so that's a good sign. We might be able to get him cooled down a little bit. In the next episode, though, we go to Chicagoland, where we're building up momentum, and now our momentum is probably going to be completely destroyed because we completely suck at Chicago. We are going to have a rough one, to say the least. So hopefully our Xfinity car will run well, but the Cup Series is going to be a rough day in Chicago unless we completely figure something out, but we'll see what happens. So now up to P3 in the playoff grid. Cody Ware currently outside of the playoffs now, so that means he's outside of the top 30 in points. But I will see you guys in the next episode. So thank you for watching, everybody, and have yourselves a great day.